Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away. To the groove and the light that flickers. We get lost in the crowd, it's getting thicker. We get away from the drinks and chatter. Haven't said a word, but it doesn't matter. Feel the air get thinner. I'm standing in a blurry dream. No one else can see us. Live your life within the moment. And don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away. Thinner. I'm standing in a blurry dream. No one else can see us. So let us dance this night away.
Good evening and welcome to Be More Super Live. I'm your host, Brian, as normal, and we've got our hostess with me.
What does that make me? Abnormal? Does that make me, some kind of non-normal?
No, you're the hostess with the mostess, my friend, Mr. Dan Fudge. Thank you for everyone that's watching, that's joining the live stream. Please share it. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. We've got some great guests coming up in the next few weeks. And what a treat with the guest this week. I've got to say, Halo is kicking ass. It really is. Season 2 is just absolutely epic. And this guest, I spoke to him just over a year ago, believe it or not, and he's got one of the coolest voices around. He really has. You'll be able to see him in Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, American Assassin, Morbius, and even Red Dwarf. But he's done so much stuff. So shall we get him on the show?
We don't have time spare. Let's do it.
So please welcome Mr. Bentley Kalu. Bentley, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Hello, Brian. Hello, Dad. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me back.
I tell you what, Bentley, you just saying my name's just made me all warm and fuzzy inside. Like, you know what I mean? Just the way you say it, just excites me somewhat.
Do you know what? Halo, it doesn't get better than having one of the Spartans on the show, because this show is literally caused so many waves amongst the gaming community, with Master Chief taking his helmet off. And I've got to say, anyone watching season 2, it's going to trigger some people. I've got to say, massively. But you know what? They just have to deal with it, because it's an absolutely astonishing show. So congratulations. It is amazing. But obviously we've got a new showrunner and we've got a new writer. And this show is definitely on another level. When you got the script for season 2, you know, what were your first thoughts going from season 1?
So it's funny. After season 1, you got to understand, when we started season 1, we really didn't know what this was going to be. right? It was such a huge monster, so many
Mm.
moving parts, right? And you have to have it, you know, you have to fine tune the machine so it can move like a well-oiled machine. So many different departments, so many different layers and layers of creativity and things that you have to put together to have everything running smoothly. We went through COVID with season one. When we finished with Stephen Kane, and I think his team was quite small.
Mm.
And I actually take my hat off to him because think about this. Okay, the game was the game, but they were creating a show that was in a different timeline, right? So it's like going into something blind. You didn't know how it was going to be received, So
Mhm.
he had no point of reference as far as like, okay, that doesn't work, this works, Um, and so he went at it, and for us to actually even get a show and finish it was amazing because it was, it was quite challenging, and very rewarding, I should say. When I got the script for season two, I was not surprised. I'll just put it that way. I was not surprised. I knew it was going to be, we got a second chance, with everything that, all the criticism that we got. And I love the fans, man. They'll let you know. If they're not happy, they'll let you know. But took everything on board, and at least we had a point of reference to go from. So I was
Mhm.
pretty pleased with it. Yeah.
I mean, going into season two, I mean, how did you get that call that the show was renewed? Was that an email? Was it a call?
So here's what I found out. What I found out was when you're doing a project that's on a big scale, past a certain amount, you're kind of guaranteed a second season anyway, because it's in the business aspect to get the returns, you need two seasons.
Mm.
This is what I learned being on season one. So I knew we were gonna go into season two. I kind of knew that. Um, the thing that was a bit concerning was, with the fans, and it just it triggered a lot of conversation. Let's put it that way, right? So I was like, okay, how are we gonna address all this? There were some fantastic things that came out of season one. And then David had a conversation with me, David Weiner, the new showrunner. And when I talked to him, I knew that this was going to be what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
There is a huge shift in, let's say, tone between
yeah,
season one and season two. There's very much a different, the way the way it's filmed, the way the characters interact. Did you pick up on that when you first read the script?
absolutely, absolutely. I think the world was expanded. It was such a
Hmm.
broader world, a lot more. You have certain elements. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but there's certain elements that in the game that were referenced more succinctly in season two. Certain events that I'm sure fans will be extremely happy with. Some not so much. Some, some somber moments. but this is what it is. This is what creativity is. This is what
Hmm.
you have to trigger different emotions.
Mm.
And when I got it, I was actually very happy. I live my life with I'm a guy that I like to put forward a lot of gratitude. So no matter what I got, it's like I'm happy. I'm pleased that I've done what I did. I'm very happy with what I did. I put my soul into it. And yeah, I was very pleased.
I mean, I've got to say, the one thing I love is the dry humor of Vannak.
Hmm.
Because I think as Brits get dry humor very, very well, and you have some amazing moments on screen, you really do.
Yeah,
But I wanted to
thank you.
talk about the suits because the suits are different for season
Yeah,
two. And
yeah,
I know we discussed about them the last time we spoke, but how
yeah.
are these suits? Are these suits any nicer to have on? Are they more difficult to move about in? I mean, they still look amazing.
Yeah. The suits quite cumbersome, you know. So you
Mm.
put them on, and the general feel is it's like running up a hill with a fully fed, healthy teenager on your back, and you're running up. Just imagine that. And he's a
I,
teenager that, and check this out, Brian. He's a teenager that doesn't like you, so he doesn't want to go up the hill. So
so it's constantly going to be in your ear telling you this is bullshit. What are we doing? Like I like there's a really great scene in the second season where you're doing a training piece without giving too much away, where you're doing training, and that looks because there's a bit of rain there as well. I'm kind of like, God, that looks awful. And there's something about like I don't know, being a grown up watching it, going, that looks uncomfortable to shit.
Do you know what? Do you know
Did you
what?
find?
Do you know what? Can I just stop you there, because I've got to say, I watched an interview that you did, Bentley, quite recently, and you told a lovely story about those waterfalls, and literally the young lady that was interviewing you, I don't think she knew where to look. But
Oh, tell us about it. I need to know. Bentley, tell me all
us
about
the
it. Tell me
story
all about
the difficulty of filming around waterfalls in those
yeah.
magnificent suits.
Oh yeah. So okay, we were in Iceland, right? And we're doing this scene, and we're in the waterfall, and we're doing the training, and Riz is not. She's not doing too good, but she's a warrior. She's pushing herself beyond what her body can take. And I'm coming trying to give her a hand. So we're in the waterfall, we're standing in the water. And when you're in water, the ground, there's a lot of algae on the floor. So it's slippery. You don't know where to step. So I have my stunt double. He comes up to me and he's like, oh, you just step here and step. I'm like, yo, did you build this freaking waterfall? How do you know where to... And he's just going like, yeah, just step here. And when you put your feet in, move it around to make sure you're stable. And then, and so I tried it. I'm like, yeah, I got it. So I tried it. I fell into the waterfall, like full armor, helmet, everything. I went in, water in my helmet. So I got up and, try to breathe. And I told the AD, I said, you know what? Yeah, I think I need to use the bathroom. And she says, do you really need to use the bathroom? Because, we just got to go. We got to do, we can bring your stunt double in, but it's going to take a while. I said, you know what? I'm a soldier. I got it. So I said, cool. So go again. And I said, I really need to use the bathroom now. And then we kept going and going and going. And then after a while, I just felt like I didn't need to use the bathroom anymore. Right. And I was like, okay, cool. This feels kind of warm, right? And I feel lighter.
Yeah.
But I don't need to use the bathroom. So if you can put two and two together, you know what happened there, right?
Isn't that the best feeling in the world, though, where you finally let yourself go and you're like, you could have been delivering a line at this point, and all of a sudden, halfway through, you just go, God, yeah! Yeah!
Yeah. But the funny thing? The funny thing was I didn't know when it happened because it was water everywhere.
Wow. Do you know I feel sorry for the people looking after those suits. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, here's the funny thing. So I went to change. I went in my trailer. And then I looked for the guy that was going to come in to take the suit. I wanted to apologize to him, but he was somewhere else. So I left and I came back the next day and I asked for him. I said, could you get the guy that was taking care of my suit yesterday? So he comes up. I said, look, I just want to apologize. I don't know what what aroma was in there when you went in there, but I just want to apologize. And he said, oh, it's cool. I didn't even realize anything. I said, wow. I said, you're the real Spartan, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I look forward to seeing that up for auction at Prop Store.
Yeah.
I think it's going to bring a new meaning to Screen Worn.
Make sure you bring a bottle of Febreze just to.
Exactly.
Yeah. But this season sees the Spartans out of their suits for the majority of the time. So obviously you're a fit lad. You've got muscles and you look like you go to the gym. But did you feel like more pressure because you knew that you were going to be out of the suit to actually hit the gym that little bit more?
Yeah. But here's what happens. Here's what happens. When you put the suit on, you actually get fitter wearing the suit because you burn so much calorie just walking around in the suit because it's about 65 pounds of 3D printed plastic. And that's on top of the Under Armour. So you got the Under Armour. If you got to think about this, you know, Batman. So Batman's costume is our Under Armour.
Wow.
So you put that on, and then you put 65 pounds of printed heavy plastic on top of that.
Wow.
So that's just to give you an idea of we filmed the scene where we had a different team of Spartans, and we were having some banter with them, and they were in Under Armour. They were not in full armor, and one of them came to me and said, "How do you do this?" He said, "I'm struggling in the Under Armour." You know, and it's pretty much mind over matter. So when we were out the suit, I had to train so much harder because when you're in the suit is the workout.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
'cause
sometimes
there's
Go
a
ahead,
few
go ahead.
scenes with Pedro in the first series where
Yeah.
he's pulling the thing out of his ass and all the rest of it, and then the opening shot of season 2 is him just absolutely shredded, like Rambo 2 shredded, like, you know what I mean,
Yep.
like, and you're like,
Yep.
well,
Yep.
that suit's doing him some solid in terms of getting rid of some water weight, right?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I remember when I went to I got my suit adjusted and they brought it back. And then I went to I had a break. I had 2 weeks off. So, and then I went back to Budapest and I got back in the suit and I got back with this mindset, like I'm going to dominate this suit this time around because it was crushing me, you know? So I go back, I get in the suit and they said, "Oh, you want to walk around a bit?" I said, "No, I don't want to walk around. I want to do a sprint. I want to do a
Yeah.
sprint all the way down the lot." And they said, "You need to just walk a little bit before you sprint." I said, "No, take me outside, clear the path. I want to do a sprint." They said, "Okay." Took me outside and I did the sprint all the way down. See, I was fresh. I was rested for 2 weeks, right? I'm feeling good about myself. I did this sprint and then I sprinted back. The walk from the end of the sprint back to the room where they had to take the armor off was hell. Like it looked like somebody took a vacuum and sucked like 2 pints of water out of my body. Like it just happened so quickly. Like you don't understand. Like it was just like.
Do you know
There you
what?
go.
I think these gyms are they're missing
I was
something.
just about to say the
Do you
same.
know what I mean?
Like,
I think all
I'm
these
stood
gyms
here
need to
watching
get Spartan
protein and
suits.
creatine intake, and you know what I mean. And I don't need to. I could just put a prop store
Spartan suit
on
on.
in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And run 100. Yeah, there we go. We're
It's
missing a
crazy.
trick there. We really are.
Yeah.
I mean, the action in season 2, I feel watching it as leveled up massively. The action from every scene. It's when you think that it can't get any higher. Literally, it's just extreme. I mean, how did that affect you? Because obviously, being in season 1 and being in the suit, you've got the advantage of sometimes having that stunt double. But you being in these scenes without the suit, I mean, was that hard work or was that enjoyable?
I'm going to be totally honest with you. It was actually easier because once you get out the suit, you feel like you can do anything. As soon as I got out the suit and they said, so we went through the movements and they were like, "Wow, you look freaking amazing." And I said, "Yeah, because I've been in the suit and I feel like it's been holding me down. So once I'm out, this is like so easy for me, just to
So
go through the movements was." Sorry, Dan,
what
go
did you
ahead.
say it was? No, my fault for interjecting. I'm sorry, there's a bit of a delay. But you said 65 pounds. That's around 30 kgs, right? So if I think about that when I'm doing lat raises, that's me topped out. 15 each side lat raise. That's a significant amount of weight. That, Bentley. I bet you felt like you were going to float away.
Exactly. And I would say it's, the different suits had different weights. So I don't want to speak for anybody else, but my estimation would be between 55 to 65, something like that. You're right. And exactly like you said, like even when I did Edge of Tomorrow, it was Edge of Tomorrow, the costume in Edge of Tomorrow was not as heavy as Halo. And Edge of Tomorrow was the same thing. I got in phenomenal shape when I did Edge of Tomorrow because I was on that for so long. By the time you came out the suit, it's almost like training with a weight vest and doing everything you do with a weight vest for like, let's say 2 months. And then you get out the weight vest and your body kind of adapts,
Just going to make a note of that. For, next time I go
make a note for me as well, Dan, because we need to get some weight vests and
Halo suits.
You know what, Bentley? I have always said I have got a body of a god, but it's just wrapped up nicely in bubble wrap, and it's just well protected. Do you know what I mean? So in case I fall over, you know what I mean.
Safeguard.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are commenting around your character and what actually happened. I'm quite reluctant to talk about it because obviously I want people to enjoy it and stay invested into it. So I won't be asking you about that because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. All I'm going to say though is that I'm quite surprised by some of the characters and the twists and turns this season. Right. There are certain characters that I would never have thought would have done what they've done. So it's going to keep people on their toes. I mean, did that surprise you? Because, there are characters that really are doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing.
Well, it surprised me initially, but then I had to, as with everything I do, I sit down, I take a breath. I'm like, okay, let's see what the goal is here. And, the goal is spontaneity, shock, surprise, stuff like that. So that's the direction. And it's sort of like an attempt to create a peak in the middle because, you go 4 episodes in and you create a peak and, and then you create another peak that's even higher than that at the end. So I understood the assignment. And then I took it on board. I took it on board as, as professional and went up there and, and bared my soul, man, as I always do. I was ready. I was ready to rock, man.
It's amazing because the first episode, you kind of like, there's a lot of setup, right, in the first episode, and like you say, the world expands a little bit. We've got Silver Team, and we've got this team, and and we didn't have really that in the first season, and then episode 2 kind of doubles down on that, and then it builds 3, 4, 5. Because I think the one before your story arc is just people fucking each other up for like an hour, and I was like, this is amazing. Because I'll be honest, Bentley, and I've said it before on this show a number of times, like a computer game series crossover for me, not really my cup of tea. To sound the most English I've ever sounded in my life, not really my vibe. And then we Brian recommended I take a look at this show, and I must admit I've absolutely loved it. Like I'm right into it. I'm now sat there going, when's this next episode out? I'm gonna need it. Do I? Because they come out at midnight over here, and I'm like, do I stay up? Do I watch it the following day? That type of thing.
Well, the next episode is out now today.
Yeah, I forgot. I know, and I'm moving house, man. I can't. I've got stuff to do.
Me, I have managed to watch it. It's just absolutely amazing. Did you keep anything after season 2?
What did you steal, Bentley? Yeah. What did you steal? We want to know what you robbed.
His waterfall suit.
I didn't steal anything. I don't know. See, if I say what was given to me to keep, it's kind of gonna give away the episode.
Well, I tell you what, Bentley, you didn't really steal. I get what you mean. You didn't really steal anything, but you did literally mark your territory. So you know what I mean. That's kind of better than stealing something, isn't it?
That's great, isn't it? Yeah. I've got to have it because I've weed on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That mine.
So have we got any conventions planned for you? Are you going to go out and meet the fans at any point? Is that an interest that you're
You know what? Yeah,
thinking
yep.
about?
I am pretty much. We're talking to a few people right now. Nothing confirmed yet, but that's one of my goals because honestly, the fans, in my opinion, they're my real bosses. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They're like I take everything they say to heart. All the criticisms, I respond as much as I possibly can, and I love those guys. And I appreciate all the feedback, all the love. Um, the love that I got after season one was mind blowing because I
Mhm.
thought to myself, I was like, wait a second. I just played a character on a TV show, right? But I got messages like, you will be remembered till the day you die as a great Spartan. I was like, wow, you know? So those guys, I just really would love to meet them. I got crazy love from South America, Venezuela, Peru, Colombia, Brazil, Chile, all these places. And I was like, yo, this is really crazy. But yeah, I was overwhelmed, but I'm getting used to it a little bit. But I love those guys, yeah. And
But
very
yeah,
soon I'll be at a couple.
we were talking off air about shows such as this and press junkets, and we found that a lot of the guests that we have on have a lot more positivity to say about doing something like this, because the junket seemed a little bit churned out, and surely now, like, having that interaction with the people, because you don't get any feedback when you're performing. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
don't know if
yeah.
something's funny. You don't know if something's shocking. You just kind of have to make it and put it out there and hope for the best. So when you
Yeah.
meet the fans, do you feel like, I don't know, like it's like a delayed laugh or a delayed round of applause or a delayed, well, like you said, feedback session, like, is that something that's more personable to you, or would you prefer to do the junkets where you can just get them in and out in a hotel room every 10 minutes? Like,
You know what? You know what? I actually really appreciate that question. That's a really good question because I wanted to touch on that. So you have different eyes when you're working on a
mhm,
project, right? You have the actor's eyes, you have the director's eyes, you have the studio's eyes, and then you have the fan's eyes. So these are
mhm,
all different sets of eyes. So what you see as an actor might not be what the director sees. And he might tell you, oh, that's not working. And then you have to readjust. I think ultimately, when you meet the fans either confirm your suspicions that it's good or they tell you it's absolute crap. You know what I mean? And
we get that all the time.
that's the most basic grassroots raw feedback you can get. It's from a fan because they're the ones watching it. And the
Mhm,
whole idea of trying to create this is to get into the heads and the eyes of the fans to see what
mhm,
they would see and what they might like. So once if
mhm.
you meet the fans and they give you a thumbs up, that's all you need.
Mission mission accomplished, right?
Well,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
do you know what? Fingers crossed that you do a convention, and me and Dan can come across with our weight vests on.
Measuring biceps. Measuring
Yeah,
biceps.
yeah. But we've got a
I did
comment
like
there
day to
from
day.
Julia Plews, a great supporter of the show, saying thank you,
Yes,
Bentley, for
Jules.
great performances as Vannak, a true hero. And then
Oh,
we've got one as well from Molly as well. I really enjoyed watching your character on both seasons. He's a true hero, and you know what? Your character is sort of like, every person needs a Vannak. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Reliable,
yeah,
loyal. And it's great that in season one he was just like straight down the line. He was all about being a Spartan, and now we're
yeah.
seeing a nice, different, side to him since he's taken out his pellet. So I
Mhm.
encourage everyone to watch the show. It's just fantastic. It really is. I'm just looking at the time, and it's time to
Yeah.
bid farewell. It's half past. But Bentley, thank you so much. I look forward to everything you do in the future, including Squadron 42, which looks absolutely epic.
Oh,
Which I'd love to get you on at a later date to talk about once that is finally released. But Bentley, look after
absolutely.
yourself and keep safe, my friend.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Have a good one, man.
You
Bless.
too. Bye bye.
Thank you. Oh, I love him so much.
Oh.
I love him so much. I want to just hold him in my arms.
Oh, do you know what? He would be an amazing guy to read a bedtime story.
Well, this is it, right? So, listen, I was gonna do a little. I'm gonna make you do it now, Brian, in your accent,
Okay.
because we
Okay.
lost Bentley. So I've just pasted him. I'm gonna paste a message into the guest chat, right? And I was
Yep.
gonna get him to do 3 things. Now, if you can do your best Bentley impression, this would be sick, right? So you know how
Wait a second.
how
Wait a second. Let me see if I've got any voice change.
have you got a voice changer? While you're
Yeah, I
doing
have.
that, I'll explain the rules. So while we've got while we're in a world now of automation and people telling us off constantly, there's always like a voice telling us off. Like constantly, there's like a geezer on a microphone. There's a geezer. Go on, give me a mic check.
1, 2.
That's lovely. All right, and so there we are. Right, so in the comment box is phrase 1. If you can just give me one of them.
Mind the gap.
Yeah, mind the gap. That one just breaks you in. That one just breaks you in easy. And then I was going to get him to do this one because I think this one would be terrifying while you're insanos.
Unexpected item in the bagging area.
And now this one, I don't know if you know, I've just taken myself a new job in London, and this one I hear a lot, and I feel like Bentley could have absolutely nailed this one.
Dan Fudge likes donkeys.
That wasn't it. I don't hear that a lot. No, that's new.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
It is. We are sorry to announce that the A28 to Cockfosters has been delayed.
Yeah, you see, and that's where Bentley could just improve just daily life through. You know what I mean?
Could.
Just by doing that. Now, I'm gonna carry on talking, Brian. I'm sorry, I know it's your show. My apologies, but there was something he said. There was something he said there that absolutely resonated with me. Now, this is for the people at home. Now, Brian and I used to work at a holiday park, and during our time at this holiday park, we used to have to share costumes, such as various cartoon characters and people like that. Now, we used to wear these undersuits underneath these what we called skin characters. But Brian and one of our colleagues used to wear this same costume. Now, to give you a bit of background on this guy that Brian used to share this costume with, I used to be his what we used to call shed mate. So we used to share a bathroom and we'd have a room each. And I remember when he moved in, we started together. We moved in. His mum bought him a bottle of Lynx Africa. And the shower gel, Axe, as it would be in the States, and I thought, I'm short this week. I'd not gone to the shop because we were constantly skint, so I just thought I'd borrow some of his. I borrowed that shower gel for weeks and nobody noticed. So what we realised was that this MF wasn't bathing. So at this point now, Brian's showing a costume with this guy who didn't bathe, and I'm going to let Brian pick up the story from here because
So
it's a doozy.
basically, it was that bad that the stitching of the costume deteriorated. It was that bad. It was that bad. Literally,
The costume fell apart because of someone's BO.
Yeah. So literally, you know what? I think that when you're in a show like Halo, you've got your own costume. So I suppose you can urinate in it and it's fine because it's your urination.
It's your urine. Yeah.
But for costumes that you share, just like a public service announcement, if you're going to share anything with anyone, please wash
have a shower.
and maintain your hygiene. But
I swear to God, listeners, there was one day I watched him put the head on, and the character just started going. It's something that was literally about 25 years ago, and it will stay with me for the rest of my life.
Do you know, it will stay with me as well. But no, we've got to do a sponsor's message. So here we go. So obviously our sponsors, the wonderful sponsors. The great thing is they are going to be our sponsors for the next year. So
Oh, have we
they're
signed
going to
on?
be
Have we signed on?
yes, 2024 to 2025. Our sponsors at Prop Store. So that means
Wait,
that we can go
the
down.
contract's been redone.
Yeah.
Has anything else changed? Because I feel like the last year I've had this gag, and I feel like you're going to take it off me right now. Have you changed it?
No, I was going to. I was
Oh!
going to. Do you know what? Do you know what? One day, I think I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to surprise you with
Fudge
Dan
10.
Dan 10 or Fudge 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to surprise you. I'm just going to catch you off guard with the actual code. But obviously,
do the bump. I cut you off
our
there.
code
Sorry,
to get 10% off at Prop Store is Brian10. Visit their website, propstore.com. They've got a great auction coming up. But it means now that we can go down there and play with all the lovely movie props.
and they will be a lot cleaner than the Puppet Master costume that, that
Well, to
Brian
be
used
honest,
to share.
I have sniffed Arnold Schwarzenegger's jacket. Do you know what I mean? And you would think a man that size would persevere. No, what's the word? Perspire.
Perspire.
I can't talk today, honestly. I asked a customer at work, "Have you got a message?" when I meant to ask, "Have you got a quick question?"
Have you got a message?
He looked really like odd at me. He really, really did. But yeah, so Brian 10 is the code. So I'm really excited. We've got some great things coming this year. And I'm loving everything. Are you still enjoying coming on live each week with me?
Yeah, I tell you what, I kind of want to look back at some of the early episodes on episode 1 and 2 and just sort of looking and going, this is me doing a really polite face. Oh, yeah. Like, I remember we interviewed Ian Hamlin over the last year, the voice actor. And I was watching that back, and I'm doing like all of a sudden my normal accent's crept out over the last few months. But at the start of it, I'm going, "Hello, Ian Hamlin. It's very nice to have met you."
Well,
what is it about?
Like the 1930s?
Yeah, Mr. Chumbly Warner. Now, come on in here. Don't vote Labour, you knows. Like, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. But then over time, I do more ridiculous questions such as what does Bruce Willis smell like?
Yes. Do you know what? I just want to try this sound out. Ready?
Go on.
We're sorry to announce the A28 to Cockfosters has been delayed.
Shit, that's good. I want that. Is that an app?
No, it's on my soundboard. I've got different voices and different effects, so I can just go. Oh no, I can't. Wait a second, I've got to turn it up, and then I can do all that lot, and then I can go.
Yes, I feel that last noise plays every time I walk into a room. You know, like, all right, wankers.
It is at the moment in our house because we're eating a lot more veg, and
good lord,
I'm having Huel. So it, I am powered by flatulence at the moment. But anyway, so I want to thank everyone for watching. I'm just thinking to myself, everyone's going to be watching this. If you've got any suggestions for guests to come onto the show, obviously not watching this part, please comment. Send us any names by social media.
I'll tell you what, we mentioned Red Dwarf earlier on. If we could get Chris Barry on, I would absolutely pick his brains. I'd fangirl for a good 90 minutes on that one. That'd be me talking about. Talking about Gordon Brittas and yeah. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
But the thing is, it's actually more difficult to actually get the British stars on the show than it is the American or Canadians, and I don't know why.
Because the Americans don't know what shit kickers we really are, Brian. Like, you know what I mean? They think we're somebody. They think they've got to be nice and polite. Whereas the British actors will look at this bollocks and go, "We'll have a load of old shit. This is."
yeah. We'd rather go on an American one where they're all like organized and it's got like a very strict format and they've got things running across the bottom of the screen and everything like that. Yeah. But obviously, we're just two lads just having a good time. Do you know what I mean? Having a break from life.
Talking
but
about
yeah.
the Puppet Master costume. Literally.
No, you've let it out. You've let out what character it was.
It was rubber, right? And the rubber had all corroded away because of this geezer's face. Like I can't speak. And Brian had to put that on.
Yeah, and I had to put it on and go, okay, I want all the little children to clap your hands.
So good.
Oh, dear me. I
So good.
think Steve, our mate, had to wear it as well a couple
Yeah, I
of
think
times.
he
He
did.
was
He
more
did.
the soldier that stood next to it.
Yeah,
a
that
lot
used
of
to
the
have the
time.
lipstick
The
cheeks
toy
on.
stuff.
Used to-
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Always my fave.
Good old days. Good old days, I've got to say. But yeah, we've got some great guests coming up. If you've got any suggestions, please, or even reach out to them on social media and say, look, we want you on Be More Super Live. You know, but yeah. But films, I've got to say, Iron Claw, amazing.
I'm an hour through that. I'm really enjoying that. Zac Efron's hair in it is really distracting, and the biceps on the geezer from the Bear can't not look at them. One thing I've been watching, Brian, is a series from 2012. Now, last year I went to San Francisco and got right into the entire BS of that entire town. You get suckered right in, and I went to Alcatraz Island. So and as I was just searching through trying to find some, and there was a show there called Alcatraz.
Alcatraz.
I mean,
yeah, it's
it
cancelled.
begins with A, so I didn't search really far, but it's got Sam Neill, who I quite like and big fan of, and you know, is it Garcia, the guy who plays Hurley in Lost? He's in it.
Yeah, George.
Can't remember.
George
Yeah.
Garcia. Yeah,
I think it's Garcia.
Or
Yeah,
Jorge,
and
yeah.
Jorge. Yeah, and
Jorge.
and I'm right into it. It's naff and it's a bit soap opera the way it's
But
filmed.
knowing that it's got cancelled,
really enjoy it.
knowing it's been cancelled puts me off watching a show. I mean, I've watched it. I've really enjoyed Alcatraz, but I won't start a new show now, knowing if it's been cancelled, because the thing is, it's going to leave you on a cliff edge, and you're just going to get annoyed. So yeah, Julia, I don't have a photo. I don't think I've got a photo. They're all with a therapist.
I tell you what, Julia, if you just now just press print screen on your computer now. There you are. You see, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Could we get Pablo? It's Pablo, by the way.
Did I call him Pedro?
Yeah,
Shit! I've been doing that all week.
So Pablo Schreiber, I would love to get on the show, only because I would want to do that to him and say Jambo. And
Brilliant.
Not a lot of people realise what that's from, but that's from 13 Hours that he was in. That I thought he was incredible in that film. But yeah, I would love to get him on. But again, it's trying to get past PR people, managers. It's trying to get past the people to get to the actual stars, and it is difficult. It really, really is. So who knows? I mean, I keep trying. I send at least 15 to 20 emails a night. Do you know? Yeah,
absolute nerd.
Yeah, I'm a beast. Honestly, I'm there emailing. You name the star. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's
Julia wants a photo of the Puppet Master. Sorry, I've just realised I thought she just wanted like a signed black and white from you, Brian. Like,
but do you know what? It's a 40th anniversary of Police Academy.
Yeah,
coming up. So I had Steve Guttenberg on the show a couple of years ago. So I've reached out to see if he's got time to come on again, because he's such a lovely guy to chat to. So Molly's put, I've got some good suggestions for some guests, which I'll message you with them. Yes, get the list over, and I promise I'll do my best.
Julia, you're out there. I can see some of the comments coming through from Wild Thing, and is that somebody related to you, Brian? There is that Jack.
What Wild Thing? Jack.
No,
yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's my nephew.
Now we've got about 5 minutes left, ladies and gents. If you want to fire a question to us, if you want to know any mucky stories that Brian's been up to while we're on the East Coast, anything like that, fire it over. This is a Sheffield Wednesday shirt. That's what football team I support. That's a duck from nightclub chain Pop World. I've also got a blue one, so that's nice, isn't it?
Oh, what?
So what have you been watching? I normally there's a normal point, ladies and
Do you
gents,
know
that you
what?
guys don't listen to, where he recommends movies for me to watch. So what have you been watching this week, Brian?
So what have I been watching?
Yeah.
I watched Anthony Hopkins' latest movie called, I think it's called One Life or This Life, based on a true story. That about a guy during the Second World War that saved over 600 kids from the Czech
Yes.
Republic before the
I did
Nazis
hear about that. Yeah.
came out. Amazing. Then I watched Killers of the Flower Moon because
Any good?
it is amazing. I've got one of the stars on the show. I'm releasing the interview on Sunday. I was chatting to her the other night. Amazing. It is 3 hours and 26 minutes long. So
What,
it
the
is-
interview?
No, no. The film. Literally, the film is an investment, but again, it's based on a true story about the Osage, which are indigenous people in America, where they accidentally strike oil on their land, and they become
wow.
the richest people in the nation. But obviously, as the Americans and greed and everything like that, they take advantage. And it's basically about a family of 4 sisters that basically own this land. And these Americans, this one family, marries all the sisters and murder them one by one through different means.
What in the world is that movie that you've just described
true,
there?
This is true story. It's called Killers of the Flower Moon. It's got Leonardo
Good
DiCaprio,
Lord.
Robert De Niro.
Yes.
It's directed by Martin Scorsese. And literally, it is such a stunning and sad and so powerful. It's just an amazing film. But 3 hours and 26 minutes, so you've got to plan ahead.
Okay, I'll get moved in my new house first and go from there. What questions? Oh, Mad Ward's gone with Raw Wednesday, aren't we? Cheers, Mad Ward. Big fan. What else have we got? What questions have we got there, Brian?
Mr. Garner, Mr. Fudge, how are you today? Yeah, I'm doing good.
Not too shabs. Not too shabs.
I
smell like bleach.
He just got married as well, so congratulations. I was at the wedding. I got the pictures. Thank you, Jack. Absolutely amazing wedding. Lovely, really nice, really nice.
Did you get fed enough? Because a lot of people kick off.
Do you know what?
The
food was quite nice.
No, there's no. You know that weird bit after the ceremony before the reception. You know what I mean? Where you're like, oh God, like, when are we eating next? And then you're rooted through the car to try and find some crisps, half-eaten crisps. Did you have any of that moment?
No, it's all right. Julia said, "How many years have you been friends?"
24 years, Julia. 24.
1999, wasn't it?
I wasn't till 2000 actually, so I started.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
No.
I started June 2000, mate.
Because I can remember the first time I met you was at my 19th birthday. And,
Go on, tell the story. You make me sound like an asshole. Go on.
And literally, the first time I met you, I got a cake. It was at Woody's in Inglemells, and you grabbed a piece of cake, said "Happy Birthday," and shoved it in my face.
I'm a lovely. I was. Do you know what? I didn't know that. I've forgotten that story until we met up last year. I have no recollection of that whatsoever. And I was halfway through this diatribe with everybody going, "Hey, listen, I was just a decorator from Rotherham. I was trying to keep myself to myself and keep me nut down. I was like a wallflower. I was like a shrinking violet." And Brian goes, "Well."
Yeah, you wasn't. Julia said, "Congratulations, Jack," and also Molly as well.
I feel like we're bringing people together. This is great.
We are.
Yes, it was Skegness, Julia. Yes, it was. It was
Skeg Vegas.
like how people call the Humber the mouth of the UK. Skegness is the anus. You know what I mean? That's. It's a good way of putting it.
And it hasn't changed. It's got worse. Everything's gone from the East Coast now. Rhinos has gone. Fat Louis. It all got burnt down. Many nights.
Attack.
Yeah. Insurance claim. But yeah. I don't know what to say now. Do you know when you get to the point where you're like, oh, my brain's thinking about this is why, when I learned to juggle, because I can juggle clubs, fire, knives, young babies. I can only juggle for about 2 minutes before it all goes pear-shaped, because after about 2 minutes, I start thinking about other things, and I just can't concentrate. So it's like that now. But yeah,
I'll tell you what then. I've been watching. I tell you what, I don't think we spoke about it on the show because we've had a guest on every week. The ending of Monarch.
Okay.
I thought it started out so very well. The first few episodes I thought were incredible. Even that opening scene with John Goodman, you were like, "Wow, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be great." God, it fell apart, didn't it? It really went downhill as that season went on.
Yeah. But the ending is tied into the new Kong
Look,
and Godzilla film.
that was my question. Does it tie into the upcoming? Is it -1?
Yeah, so literally, it's supposed to tie into that world because what they're trying to do now is a bit like what other films and shows are doing.
Disney.
Like I suppose with the Mandalorian film that's coming out, they're trying to tie it in all together. So the Mandalorian and Grogu film is going to be like a follow-on, I presume. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Monarch. I thought it was good. Remember, it is a TV show. Yes, Julia. Yeah, do you know when season 2 of the Ark is out? No, I don't. But I chat to one of the stars quite a bit, and I'll be getting her on again. So
He knows Julia. Look at him. That's a man who knows.
No.
He's been texted in his hotline to the stars. He's got it in his little black book. He's lying to you. He's lying to me.
The finished principal shooting, and obviously is being bought by more territories because when a show is made, they sort of offer it out to different countries and everything like that to buy. It's a bit like the Snowpiercer. I don't know if you ever watched that, but season 4 has been filmed, is complete, but will never be seen.
Oh, nobody wanted it. Nobody picked it up.
No, so literally, no one's bought it. So literally, we won't find out what happens, and it's a bit like that with the new Acme film. With the road,
the Wile E. Coyote
runner.
one.
They're just using it as a tax write-off, which I think's shocking. But no, as soon as I know when the Ark is coming out, don't worry, I'll let everyone know, and we'll get some of the stars on because they're great. They're really, really good.
But go on, you were talking about Monarch. So, did you not feel like it was going somewhere, or did you think, Christ, there's because UK seasons are very much monster of the week, and they're about 6 to 8 episodes long. Yeah, the States tend to go for a 24-episode run, or now in recent years they seem to have reduced it to about 8 to 12 now, right? Which I'm bang on board with because it's all killer, no filler.
Yeah,
but I felt like the entire second half of that season was just, come on, what we're doing now? What's next?
Thing is, it depends on the person you are because I actually quite enjoyed every episode.
Really?
It's not like Game of Thrones where you get a couple of episodes that are really down there and they're just fillers. They're just like, let's just put anything in there and just get this. Yeah, with Monarch, I enjoyed it all. I really enjoyed it all. But one show I'm really enjoying at the moment is Masters of the Air, which is on Apple TV.
I added that to my list after we spoke last week. I've not got to it yet because I was catching everything in. Oh, now she said it. You've said the magic words there, Julia. Watch him now.
Do you know what? I'm triggered. I am triggered, literally. So Warrior Nun got cancelled, right? And obviously all the fans got together. It's one of the biggest fan movement in the history of TV. They had billboards in front of Netflix, basically boycotting Netflix and telling them to save Warrior Nun. Obviously, the creator said that Warrior Nun's been saved, and obviously everyone celebrated. But the intention is to make a trilogy movie series. This is like a year and a half ago. Nothing's been heard of. It's literally gone quiet. Do I feel that we're going to get a Warrior Nun? No. Do I feel that we're going to see any of the original cast in the films? No. Sadly, I just think it's been buried, which is really shocking because the amount of effort, and I mean, we had a couple of them on the show live, the amount of effort and what they did to get this show saved, and it's just ridiculous. It really, really is. But that's a cancel culture. That's the studios thinking about money and not obviously the fans, which they make things for us. So
I tell you what, I did see coming up in terms of fans. And I do you know what? I wanted to say this on this show because I wanted to gauge your reaction on it. Because Ghostbusters. Let's talk about Ghostbusters. There is a thing with Ghostbusters, especially the first 3 movies, right? The most recent with Afterlife and the first 2, where there doesn't seem to be an entire focus on what actual peril you're in once the ghosts won, as it were. But this trailer for this new movie, there is some genuine peril. You've got planes falling out the sky. You've got people freezing and smashing to bits. This looks a very different tone, and I'm actually really excited about it. And hopefully we don't have a callback to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Let's just, can we put that to bed, please?
Thing is, right, I love everything Ghostbusters. I liked the last film. I thought everything about it was fantastic. Obviously, they're playing with our nostalgia when they bring out something like this. So you've got to think, for the new fans that may not be fans of the originals, it's damn good. And the trailers are a lot more edgy for the new one. Is Dan Aykroyd possessed? Who knows? I reckon he is. Are they going to kill one of the originals off? No. Oh, I wish I had a button that was like do do do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's not long now. Is it March the 12th or 22nd? It's one of those dates.
Is it? Is it that soon?
Yeah. It's next month. They had to do reshoots a couple of months ago. So one of the suggestions for guests on the show is Matt Ryan. Yes, I've met Matt Ryan. Awesome guy. He played Constantine in the series, Constantine, and he was in Legends of Tomorrow. And he's Joseph Morgan's best mate.
God, that's lovely.
So
lovely.
He was his best man at his wedding. So I know these facts. Yeah. So yeah, I'll reach out to Matt because he's a lovely guy. He's always at Wales Comic Con, so he must be local because he's Welsh as well. But we'll get him on the show as well as some other guests. So watch this space. Remember, share, like, and subscribe. Sorry, I've got windy pops. Just like
you got. Hang on, let me do it. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. My name's been Brian Garner. That's been Dan Fudge. Thanks a lot. See you later.